Check, check, 1, 2. Hey, welcome to What's Up, Talent. My name is Lucian Fuller, and today I have an awesome guest. His name is Brian Koenig.
Hey.
What's up, Brian? Okay, I'm gonna put this mic down so you can really hear me. Well, Brian, how'd you start performing?
I started performing. I started as a juggler. I just picked up some juggling balls in a book, and I started when I was 14. And a couple years into that juggling club, the person who used to be our club president started working for a small entertainment company in Cincinnati. And one summer, I called him up because I knew about it, and I said, hey, can I join you guys? And they said, how old are you? I said 16. They said, call us back when you're 18.
Okay.
And I hung up the phone dejected, but then apparently the guy who was president of our club was there in the room at the time with the person who owned the company, and he said, who was that? And he's like, oh, his name's Brian, some kid. And he's like, you know that guy can juggle 9 balls. I could juggle 9 balls at the time. I was working on numbers juggling, and so the owner of the company called me back and said, should have led with that. You're hired. So he said, your ass is hired. Was the
Okay, and what is it you do now?
So I work for this circus entertainment company called the Cincinnati Circus. We are based in Cincinnati, Ohio. We do event entertainment, everything from jugglers, stilt walkers, aerialists, balloon artists. We do inflatable rentals, corporate stuff, like casino nights. And so now, over the years, I have developed my skills, and I do a bunch of different roles within the company. I handle a lot of the specialty entertainment, a lot of game show hosting, a lot of juggling shows, school shows, did a couple of halftime shows. And then I do a touring circus show with the company that's 5 or 6 people.
Right,
and we do,
that's what I heard about.
Yeah, it's good. I do the juggling act and the ringmaster in the show, and a couple other small roll-a-bola balance tricks and stuff like that.
So you're telling me that you travel with how many people?
5 and sometimes 6 when they're close by, but mostly 5 people.
You travel with 5 people.
Yep.
You got a circus at the tour.
Yep.
How many different acts are in this circus with 5 people?
So I'd say we do about 10 acts.
Wow, 10 acts is 5. So that means everyone's doing 2 different parts?
Yes, yeah. So we do an introduction. We do juggling and hula hoop as an ensemble in the introduction.
So cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we have a series of acts. We do silks, aerial hoop. We have a low-cast flying trapeze, which is essentially a 25-foot rig or 24-foot rig. And we fly without a net. It's got crash mats, and I used to do that. I don't do that anymore.
Wow.
I'm too tall and compared to the rest of the flyers, but and I was never very good at it. But they do that, and so that's the ending of our show. And then we do a flying trapeze into fire, and then in the middle there's bed of nails acts.
A flying trapeze into fire.
Yeah. Well, flying trapeze, and then we do fire as the
okay. I'm about to say.
We all do
that's still cool.
Yeah. We all do our specialty acts with fire at the end.
Nice.
It's a nice little finale, and we play a lot of county fairs, and then lots of a couple comedy acts in the middle, and I do all the talking, and I host the show, and so yeah.
Much respect, man. That's a lot of work. You set this whole thing up. You load in, you load out. I mean, that's a lot of work.
We have about a 2-hour setup time, which is actually really fast for a circus. I mean, we're outdoor, no tent. We do outdoor rig. We have essentially a modified aerial rig, which has been extended height-wise, and then we added trussing between 2 of them, and then we down guide it. And so we've got a flying trapeze that's based out of these 2 rigs. It takes about 2 hours to set up. There's like a backdrop that goes up in a ring that we have, an inflatable ring curb.
Amazing.
And we usually will set up, if we're doing a single day, we'll usually set up, do 3 shows, and tear down in one day, which will be a 12-hour day, 19 to 13-hour day, plus travel. And then sometimes if we're lucky, we'll do week-long sets at county fairs, and so we'll do set up one day and do 2 or 3 shows a day with workshops in between, and we try to be still very close to our entertainment roots, where we still we go out into the crowd. We're not like just sitting backstage aloof. These circus performers no one can talk to. We sign, we take pictures, sign autographs, whatever people want. So
where do you stay? Do you have a caravan that goes with you, or motorhome, or do you stay in hotels?
We do hotels. We do hotels actually. So we're lucky. We tour with 2 couples and then another guy, and so we usually get our own room. As as couples and stuff, but we do that, and that works pretty well. And that way, we also don't, it's nice to be in a hotel sometimes versus like a trailer where you never know if there's gonna be AC, and you get to just relax and you can step away from the circus for a little while. So it's good. It's good. It's a lot of fun.
Wow, man, that's cool. So how much hours of practice do you do to get ready for the show?
Yeah, so every year, it's kind of like one of those things where since we're an outdoor circus, we only tour and we live in our base in Ohio, we only tour during the summer. Our main touring months are like May through September.
First off, you do a 2-hour load-in. You do the rigging yourself, and everyone works together,
so
helps out?
Yeah, so we have the main guys who do the rigging are the catcher and the main flyer, and they do, we can set most of it up, but they have to get up with a ladder, and then we 20-foot ladder, and they get up to the top, and they do attach the trussing, and the rigging takes about an hour. So the setup it's mostly just unloading equipment.
Do you have show that night?
Yeah. So we'll set up. A lot of times we'll get there in the morning around 8 a.m., 10 a.m. We'll set up there. We'll have our shows at noon, 2, 4.
And before that, you drove to the different cities?
Yeah, it depends. Like if it's more than like 4 hours away, we'll probably drive there the night before and then get set up, or we'll be set it so that we do evening shows. And yeah.
What if it's a longer drive? You fly?
No, we can't. We're all
your gear, right?
All gear, yeah. So we
or maybe one guy drives, the other people fly.
We're working on switching to that. I think
Take turns.
Like if it's really, because we do some stuff in New York. It's just about a 12-hour drive sometimes for us to the far ends of New York.
Yeah.
So we have to take a chase vehicle at that point, and then we'll send one person up because it takes longer, and then we have a vehicle.
Or you can just get like a shipping guy, or put it on a shipping company.
We haven't
they
done
ship
that
it and you fly out, right?
Yeah. We haven't done that yet. We're not doing long range enough that that's become a thing. We're still we're able to price it in at this point where it's able to travel. So.
It works for you.
Yeah.
So let's go back to practicing.
Yeah.
What do you do when you practice to get ready for the show? You've already set up the circus tents. You've already done 2 hours of hard labor.
Yeah, no tents. Outdoor. No
okay,
tents.
so you set up the trapeze and all that stuff. Now, what do you do for practice?
I drink a lot of water, and I try and stop sweating because it's usually 100 degrees in the middle of a county fairground, and then I'll run through my act. When we're on show, I don't really get as much time to practice, especially because the conditions are usually pretty extreme. It's pretty hot. We don't have shade to practice in. We're in the middle of or on the grandstands of a county fair or something.
Right.
But I'll run through all my acts. I'll go through with the people that we do a passing act with, and we'll just go through that. And then if we're on like a week-long affair, if we're doing like week-long shows, we'll get there a little early in the mornings. We'll set up, and then we'll go through. So we'll work on new material together as a cast while we're there.
Okay.
And generally, our individual stuff we work on our own, kind of outside of touring time, because our tour isn't consistent. It's like broken up into like 3-day chunks, 5-day chunks. Like it's
so you go back home?
Yeah, I go back home. Yeah, it's really nice because like I've got animals. I got cats and a dog, and we're able to. My girlfriend and I, we live together.
What's the name of your cats and dogs?
I've got Obi-Wan Kenobi the dog.
Cool.
We've got Quincy the cat, which is from a show we did in Quincy, Illinois. We were doing the Quincy County Fair.
Why do you call your dog Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Well,
That's great.
I just got Emma, my girlfriend, onto Star Wars, and we had him. His name was Anakin, actually. We got him from a rescue, and his name was already Anakin, and his sister was Leia.
Oh, perfect.
And so they were already Star Wars names. We didn't want to change it, but Anakin, it didn't work because her sister's name. We lived with her sister, and her sister's name was Annie.
Oh, right.
So we knew we couldn't call him Annie because it was like Annie.
Yeah, confused dog.
So we switched to Obi.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so there's that, and then we got Kuza after the Cirque du Soleil show.
Okay.
And then we have Ripley after the.
Ripley's Believe It or Not?
No, after the main character in Alien.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
we watch a lot. Em and I watch a lot of movies. So.
Did you see the recent Alien?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
So good.
I'm not gonna see it.
So good. I'm telling you, man. These aliens were coming out, and I was like, whoa. And you had to keep like wondering what's gonna happen next. What's gonna happen next? But I don't want to be like a spoiler alert. But it's got some serious, like it'll freak you out in a bit. Like it'll afterwards, you'll like go home, try to go to bed, and you'll be thinking about it, and be like, can't really sleep right now.
You got that vent in the corner,
yeah,
you
can't really
sleep.
Awesome. There's one scene you're like, whoa, that's yeah. All right, moving on.
No, you're good.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I went to MegaCon. I saw like a lot of crazy aliens.
Yeah,
like that. It was awesome.
Is that the one in Orlando?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So let me see. So you've done the practicing. But I want to know, when you're doing shows, any crazy experiences you had? Any wild stories on stage where you're like, oh yeah, we set this up, and then it didn't work well, or?
Yeah, we've had issues where we got places before, and a lot of times people at county fairs, they're just people from the community that volunteer their time.
Oh, that's cool.
And they are running the shows. This is the one event they run a year, so sometimes things get missed, like in the grand scheme of things. And so we've done stuff before where we got our whole thing set up, we're ready to go, and they go, oh no, your show's in an hour and it's across the fairgrounds. And we're like, well.
And you got to move that whole show.
Yeah, so we had to tear it all down, put it on cars, and we got random people at the fairgrounds to help us set up, and it was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So things like that were like some organizational things, crazy weather where we start performing. We had we performed for a whole week and it rained every single day, and still you want to make this great, so it just turns into a completely different.
Well, do you guys perform when it rains?
We do actually. We try. We cut out the aerial acts, and I will do as much as we can in the rain, especially if we're in a place where the audience.
You juggle in the rain?
I'll juggle in the rain. Yeah, we do some pretty.
Juggle machetes in the rain with lightning all around.
I do some. Lightning.
You juggle the fire in the rain?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's like Viking style, you know what I mean?
It's mostly about whether the audience is comfortable, you can do it, right? Like, so we'll perform places where there's a grandstand that's covered or something, and so we're in the rain, they're covered, they'll still sit and watch the show.
Right.
Maybe they'll be watching for us to fall or something, but it's good. And so we've had generally it's been pretty good. The craziest thing that ever happened is our main flyer got injured on the first day of a week-long event.
Oh, no.
And he was okay, just real bad pulled muscle, and he couldn't do any of his acts. And he does like 3 or 4 acts throughout the show. Like he does some comedy goof acts, some rolling globe acts, and so he was out. So I stepped in and I filled in. I did all of his stuff.
Did I meet him when you guys came to Orlando?
No, that was Kevin. Kevin was a catcher, but the other one is our other guys, our flyer.
That was good times. You guys had everybody there.
Yeah, we were partying, man.
Yeah, had a good party.
Tequila bars. What was that? Gators Wings.
Gators Wings, one of the best wings ever.
It was good.
Gators Dockside. I'll do it again. When you have these crazy stories, you had to rush and then you had to go and set up again. But wait a minute, when you're performing, you're the ringmaster. When do you have time to like change and go be the juggler and then come back out and do the ringmaster again? Then there's another set being the ring. How is that?
It's really so.
You have quick change areas or what?
I don't have time. Like I wear basically dress pants, dress shirt, and vest, and then I wear the coat over top of that. So I'm wearing and then a top hat. So I ditch the top hat and the coat when I'm doing my other acts. And so
so that's your costume change.
Yeah, and it's so hot. I perform it in the summer. Like it's just I go from a jacket and long sleeves and everything to long sleeves and long pants. So it's.
And then you just go put the jacket back on when you come back out, or
yeah. So and then we have we have some stuff where we give kids very similar costumes throughout the show. We get them involved, so like they wear the same costume I have on, and it's fun, but it's not very weather appropriate costuming. I'll say that. But when people want a ringmaster to look a certain way, they want the jacket and the top hat and the you know you got to be. Yeah, you gotta be very.
You'll be the ringmaster.
Yeah, and so it's hot, but
you're the man.
Yeah.
Tell me this: what is performing giving back to you?
Juggling has taken me to all these places, like doing county fairs. I meet some of the greatest people ever at these county fairs. Like the people that book there are so generous, so friendly. You know, like they literally will like try and invite you to their home for dinner after the shows and stuff. And like otherwise, without juggling, in just a very like welcoming way. It's just so nice to see that kind of like friendliness and genuineness for people that I don't necessarily share the same common values with or belief, but yeah. It's so cool just to meet people and have everyone from all over the country just be so welcoming. And so in general, it's just great to feel like you're connecting with people and then going out and you know that we've had county fairs that had to like get sponsors to bring us out because they couldn't afford it. They had small budgets, like real small towns, like towns of just 1,000 people, and you know you go there and like you go back there and the next year and you're like, oh my gosh, we're so glad you're back. Can we get your autograph? You know, just you can really make an impact on an event, and that sounds like a very like stock answer from an entertainer, but it's cool to feel like you're doing your job well and you're impacting people's lives. So.
Absolutely. It's like from the heart. You know, you're there to perform. You love it. And you're showing it every day.
It's good. It's good, and county fairs are such great events. People are there to be entertained. You know, they're there to eat hot dogs, watch the derby, and maybe we'll catch a circus in between. So
nice.
Yeah, it's good.
What advice do you have for someone who would want to do what you do, perform and do the kind of stuff that you like, you know, even the circus and setting that up and then performing every day and then traveling. What advice would you give to someone?
You know, when I started with the company that I worked for, I kind of said I called them up. Like the company was 10 people, and it was just a guy who juggled and walked on stilts and a couple friends he hired when he needed people to like work for him. And it's grown since then into this company with like 2 touring shows and all this other stuff and this like ride inflatable company. And in this show that I'm doing right now, we started 5 years ago, and we did it because one of our county fairs that we worked at in our local, in our individual county where we're based, we performed there for years and years, and they said, can you do a big show this year? Can you do something bigger? And we said, yeah, absolutely. And then for the next 3 months, we ran around like chickens with our heads cut off, learning acts, creating a show, and we put this show together. Like the show didn't exist before us. And so, especially if you're just starting off, like you're not gonna just get into a show and like, it's not like I'm like that much better than anyone, but like you sometimes have to build it yourself. And our company together built these shows, and we built this kind of, we built this touring company, and so it's not just going to be there for you to step into. Sometimes you have to build something yourself if you.
Yeah.
And
and for you, it's like your lifestyle. It's become your lifestyle of who you are.
Well, and you do the same thing. You built the show that you at Universal. And
we have. I mean, it's a team effort too.
Right.
You have collaborations for other companies that want to do acrobats and juggling, and you want to look at like, well, what can I do to offer that? But everyone works together, and that's kind of like how it has to be. It has to be. You have to look at it as like, well. It's not something that you could say, all right, we got the idea, we're going to do it.
Right.
We have to work the idea. Yeah. Obviously, it takes a couple, like your first 100 shows.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I've probably done now, within the first year, almost 2 years, 3,000 shows.
That's crazy.
You know, because a lot of shows every day, 6 days a week, You know, it was 7 days a week, but I've worked like 5-6 days
Right.
and inside Universal, and it's amazing. I'm very, very, very thankful for it because every time I go, I'm learning something new, or I'm applying a different trick, or I'm applying a different way of approaching the audience, or a certain way of a character or connection. Oh, that worked. Oh, that was
Right.
emotional response. And then next time I'm trying something else. So having those many performances really helps. But even when you don't have something, it's not going to be given to you. You have to
Yeah.
make it yourself. And to see you and go out, not just perform in the circus, but actually run the circus and set it up and travel. Much respect, man.
Thanks, man.
Much respect.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Brian, now get out there and join the circus.
Woo.
Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Stay in school, kids.
Or just juggle. Either one. It works.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you,
man.
man.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you can share your story. That's what it's all about.